From Content 360, this is the state of client acquisition.
I think the challenge is I'm interested in your feedback on doing LinkedIn Lives and Facebook Lives, because as you know, I like to herd people. Mm-hmm. That sounds awful, but I find if there is a very strict start time, cutoff time, private group, not everybody can enter with authentic scarcity and authentic urgency.
Yeah.
Which are very different than the fake shit about, click here before midnight, before the price goes up to $17 million again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't mean that, but where, like I just did my last workshop on how to essentially publish all your LinkedIn content in advance, so that not only can you take 10 days off from LinkedIn, come back to better results and better numbers when you get back, but really there's a massive saving if you decided to create all of your LinkedIn content on Saturday morning. Nice cup of coffee. I just did it yesterday, so I know the exact numbers. All of my LinkedIn content for the week took me less than an hour to create. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you do it on a one-on-one basis, man, I see poor Laura Louise sometimes. She takes an hour and a half to create one post. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's not, sorry, my glasses are going dark. I've got lots of sunlight hitting me here. So, that's not an efficient frontier. You're better off schedule it all in advance and then schedule 20 minutes in the mornings and maybe 20 minutes in the afternoon to come in and drive genuine engagement.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. No, absolutely. That I agree with.
Yeah.
But I think the original question was about LinkedIn Lives versus Zooms.
Yeah. So I'm getting to the point, but thank you for keeping me on subject. So I created a workshop, and I said, okay, this is not going to be the usual free workshop. You have to actually pay $99 to attend the workshop, and I'm going to sell 25 seats because I like a small audience. I think it works much better than a big audience. And after 25 seats, and I literally in Kajabi where I created the machine, I said maximum number of positions 25. So after 25, you can no longer sign up. And it works like a bomb because people realize, I need to actually make a decision here. I need to take action. Otherwise I'm going to miss this great content. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people, will respond and say, "Oh, I'd love to participate, but I can't get there." And I'm like, "Okay, how about this? You can sign up and you will get the recording, but nobody else gets the recording. Only the people who actually signed up and paid the money will get the recording." And it worked really, really great. I mean, it was about a 3-hour workshop, and then afterwards I did another one-on-one session, which I recorded, added all the bonuses, and basically created a product in a morning.
That's awesome. Yeah, stick with that, man. It's awesome. Brilliant.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm getting to is because everybody says, why don't you do your LinkedIn training, on a Facebook Live or LinkedIn Live or anything like that? And I'm like, what? Then you're gonna have like 3 people there sometimes, and sometimes you might have 100 people, of which 3 of them are trying to blow up your crap and sabotage your very nice meeting.
Well, look, I don't think it's necessarily an either or. I would say if this model works for you, the Zoom model where you just allow people, or I don't know if it's Zoom, but the Kajabi 25 max model, just milk that thing as much as you can. It's just that I think to get additional reach, to get just purely for discovery, try it out whether lives work for you, especially if you have a good audience on LinkedIn. You have 8,000-9,000 followers, so that should get, and they're quite nicely concentrated, right? So you get quite good engagement.
They're very real followers because I cut them down from 35,000, right? And
how did you do that? That's manual work forever.
Absolutely awful manual work. I mean, in the beginning, it was very easy because I put an assistant on it. I said, all right, take anybody who doesn't have a profile picture off. Take anybody from the following 3 countries off, because those people have T-Rex arms and they never pay for stuff.
Exactly.
Take them off. Then the next thing was I said, take everybody off that hasn't ever posted anything, or there's not a single post on their
Interesting.
feed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that got me down to about 12,000, and since then it's been manual,
Mm.
and it's very painful. And my machine basically is, for every new request I get, if I want to accept it, I have to take 2 old ones off.
Mhm.
So my network is getting better and better and better all the time. And if people piss me off, I just go, "Coop, delete, off you go, bye-bye." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the interesting bit is, and I saw, God, what's her name? Shanae Morgan or something like that. She did a really clever thing the other day. She did a poll. And as you know, these polls are really annoying, and I'm experimenting with them too. So I'm also annoying people. But what she did, which was very, very, clever, in that she created a poll, which was like, do you want more business from LinkedIn? Yes or no, right? I'm just paraphrasing. It was better than that. It wasn't that obvious. And in the poll was a sign up to her event. And I thought that was very, very clever mechanism of using the poll, because the polls right now are getting double LinkedIn algorithmic weight. And you can also hack them, by the way, in the first hour, in that golden hour, just a little bit like the latest American elections. You can vote as many times as you want, and dead people can vote too. You know what I mean? So, you can really hit that thing really quickly to get some early stuff, and you can get 30,000 views very quickly. So that's a great way that you can get legitimate reach into your biggest possible potential audience and create a sign up. So that's a clever way of using using polls.
But that's for free events, right?
Yeah, but even if you did that for a sign up event, right? So obviously one of the big things that I've been teaching people, Michael, is LinkedIn really hates external links.
Yes.
Because guess what? Goldman Sachs is paying them $3.5 million a month to have that stupid post that's right above yours. Click here, go to their website, right? So they are constantly going to make it harder and harder and harder for organic posters like you and I to reach our audience. So what I've been experimenting with, Michal, and it's been a wonderful gift, is that I will take a couple of old articles, which nobody reads anyway, or a couple of old posts, and I call those the sacrificial lamb post, where you create an article where you can have a embedded YouTube video. I don't know if I can show you screens or something like that here. I can just literally show you one if you want.
I would love to. I don't know if you can you share?
All right, let's give it a go.
Do you see the controls?
Share. There we go. Share slides, video file, share screen. Okay. Sharing screen is easiest with 2 monitors. Okay, I got like 12 here, so that should be fine. Share screen, and we're going to go with this one over here, because there is all sorts of crap on here. Quickly hide all the pornos. Don't worry, I'm just joking. Only joking and all. Okay. You're in the show. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So check this out quickly. This was impromptu, so I didn't have this ready. So check this out. So I've got an article, which, as you know, Michael, nobody reads articles voluntarily anyway, right? Even though I've got 1,500 subscribers and they're climbing up by about 100 a month at the moment. I created an article which I sacrificed. I basically threw this article under the bus, and I did all the bad things, all the naughty things, embedded video in there on YouTube, which is super easy to do. There is Giuseppe, who you were giving credit to earlier, and blah, blah, blah. I pasted all sorts of stuff in here. And right at the bottom, I did the worst thing you can ever do, is provided the sign up link, which is the external link to my $99 workshop, okay, in the article. So now what's cool is I just grab that article link on top, and I can go and, sorry, cancel. Testing, and drop that link in there, okay? So now the cool thing is LinkedIn does not downgrade that post because it goes, aha, I'm linking from LinkedIn to LinkedIn, which is what they want. So now I can create posts all day long referring to my LinkedIn workshop. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Without getting penalized.
That's awesome. That's such a good move.
But the cool thing is, check this out, all right? You can now go and create a poll right here. Testing. Stupid answer 1.
You can ask what
answer 2. A guy with your brain power will get this really quickly because you are a master question creator, right? Because asking the right question will literally, and now we have a poll with the sign up. You see what I mean? I'm just going to post this quickly so you can see what it looks like. So basically, you could put all of your text in here, have your sign up with a nice little emoji that shows the pointer, and still get the algorithmic weight of people answering these questions.
So, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, so that's going to get you a ton of reach.
Okay, so
I love that. You're very innovative. But then why do you say sacrificial lamb? I mean, that this article will not get much organic traction anyway?
Well, you know, generally articles, you know, they don't get a lot of views if you just create an article by itself, okay? Let me show you real quickly. So let's go to articles. So until I started messing around with this, you know, 80 views of my article here. Quick LinkedIn tips. I gave people, I mean, this is fantastic content. I'm basically telling people, do these 10 things on LinkedIn and you're just going to crush it, right? It's a really, really good article. What is that, like 80 views? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, now, obviously, now that I've caught onto this, I'm getting much more views, right? I'm here at 1,000 views. So you can see when I woke up to this whole thing. You know what I mean? But generally, articles are absolutely dead. Whereas, like on a stupid post, right? All right, let me just delete this off here again. I'm constantly messing with my LinkedIn stuff. But on like some stupid post here, this is just me screwing around with. I'm watching a movie last night. I'm like, I wonder if people prefer Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. You know what I mean? So I'm like testing this kind of stuff. But I mean, you just look at this. This is a silly auto-generated post that went yesterday, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views. You know what I mean? Video is still really, really low at the moment.
But then video view is worth way more than a post view. Because people have to at least watch 3 minutes, and then generally, if they watch for much more than that, and then they see your face, they see how you talk, so it's a much bigger brand impact than just text. So I'm very pro video, even though the views are obviously way worse.
Yeah, so what I tell my students to do, I say, look, come on, grab a pen and a paper and design 5 LinkedIn posts or 5 LinkedIn articles that you are going to need almost every day of your life.
Yeah.
Like one of mine that I have like that is a quick welcome and introduction, which I send to every new contact. I don't do a lot of outgoing connections request, but if I need to, I can quickly link to that. Then another one of them that I have that I send everybody who connects with me and within 30 seconds tries to sell me something. And I think that's really bad LinkedIn practice. And instead of getting all upset about it, I just send them to my video of why LinkedIn is like being at the dog park where we sniff each other's butts, right? And hey, they get the message, right? They get the message very quickly.
Has anyone ever responded to this and become a client?
Absolutely, totally. But it cuts people out because the people that are just here to in a very insincere way sell you some stupid thing that you never asked for in the first place, or the automated machines that go, oh dear Anric Blatt, I can see your great achievements as managing director of Global Fund Advisors LLC. I mean, you know that's an auto bot. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
So that's like the second one. Then the third one is where I show like a freebie funnel entrance, where I show how I basically help people just like them with a similar type of problem, and I show it live with the focus of adding value. No call to action on that post. Nothing. Not asking you to sign up for anything. I don't want your second born child, whatever. Just value, right? And so on. And if you create those 5 posts as LinkedIn articles, now you can embed video, you can put graphics. But the best thing about it all is that your fans are going to come in and comment underneath that. So now anybody who's checking you out, who's stalking you in the background without announcing themselves, sees all of the social proof about you, where they can see how you show up. You see what I mean?
Yeah, wait, but social proof is not great on articles.
No, but
amount of engagement on that.
Sorry, I already closed the window, but let me do it again, okay? And I'll show you in a sec.
Sure.
Okay, and we'll go back to my very this was my table of contents for my workshop, by the way. So that you're seeing there, it's not. Let me just grab a new tab here and go back and show it to you quickly. All right. So now let's go back to those articles, right? So here I have an article that is embedded with testimonials.
Yep.
Hey all, just want to take a quick moment to give a shout out and a recommendation to Anric Blatt, Lara Louise Blatt, and their 2 lovely dogs, Giuseppe and Romeo.
The famous dogs, right? And there's another one, and there's another one, then there's another one, there's some value, there's another one. So this is an actual business post, and right at the bottom of it is the sign up for my Crushing It on LinkedIn course. And then if you keep going, you will see lots of actual proof, social proof on the bottom on these links, where people can go, oh man, you know what? I love your content, all that kind of stuff. Look at this guy here, Martin Keenan, right? It sounds cliche to say that investing $99 in Anric B's Crushing It on LinkedIn live workshop was the best investment I've made in years, but investing $99 in Anric's Crushing LinkedIn was the best investment I've made in years. Yeah, I mean, so like that, you see this kind of social proof. But what's also interesting, Michael, is that people can see how you turn up, what kind of person you are, and it makes it easier and it warms up the machine for them to actually contact you. Yeah, and like you have a very unique style of being on LinkedIn. It's kind of, I would say 90% business, right? On top, 10% sarcasm. And I like it. You know what I mean? It appeals to me. And I think people should have the right to stalk you before you ask them to sign up for anything. You know?
Absolutely.
Let me see if I have another example.
Got it. Okay, so the social proof is, I mean, articles generally don't get as much engagement, but given that you are driving traffic to them, via the poll method and so on, that means they get considerably more, and then people engage more on these kind of articles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm getting plenty of comments on here. Yeah, I mean,
that's good.
With like testimonials right in the middle here. Yeah, I mean, just all over the place. So let me stop the screen share again. Bottom. Okay, there we go. I think this live thing actually works kind of nicely. I think the technology from StreamYard is excellent.
Yeah, the tech is great. The tech is great. I just wonder, I mean, the thing is, I use it for as a basis for a podcast. So this will also become a podcast naturally. And I think that makes it worth it. I would say just doing the lives with the not huge audience that they get, I think that would probably not be worth it. But given that you can then slice it up into clips, those will then get a lot of views. Do you actually do that? Do you cut up things into clips, like a long form content?
I keep intending to, and I have a wonderful vault full of incredible training and stuff like that. I just have not had the time, so I need to find a video editor that could do that. Who's on my frequency. I think you have a person like that. I don't. So no, I haven't really bothered to do it, because any video editing work is very tedious. I mean, it's
of course you're doing this yourself, but people like that. I actually have a LinkedIn Live where I ran a training for how to quickly and easily find somebody doing that.
Mhm.
So I'll send you that. It's a pretty straightforward process. You don't need to do a lot of work for it. And then you can just get yourself somebody. And like video editing is so tedious. I really dislike doing it myself, and they just do it. I upload it to Google Drive. They download it, got it done.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have been tempted to try and find somebody on Fiverr or something like that who's an experienced video editor who can put the openings. But part of my mojo of why it works, all my videos are unscripted, right? Unfiltered, unedited, and often unhinged. And it's actually, the little gig works for me because it allowed me to actually just be authentic and stop worrying about it. I don't have any scripts. I don't have nothing. So literally, as soon as the video is finished, I hit upload and up it goes, which obviously explains all the F-bombs that are in my videos and stuff.
That's good. But the thing is that there's sometimes there's real gold that you drop in a call, in let's say a coaching, a training call, that you probably would not have come up with, not as authentically presented. But maybe in your case, because you're very good off the cuff, you could simply say, that was a really good point. Let me make a video about it next time. Right?
Yeah, I've got a couple like that. I have a guy who literally jumped on like one of the calls that you were talking about of jumping on a free consulting call, and it wasn't kind of an engineered, it wasn't a trap call. It was just, I could see the guy struggling, and I sent him a link. I always have a Zoom link running when I'm at my desk, and he jumped on, and he literally came out afterwards, and he goes, "You know what? The last 45 minutes with you were worth $250,000 to me."
And
I'm like, my invoice is in the mail. You know what I mean? So I've got a couple of like that, and I should pull them out. That's a good reminder. Yeah, I do have a few like that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, my friend. So the big challenge that exists, maybe you and I can argue about it at some point, is how do you get the window shopping guys who want to have everything for free segue into actually becoming a client and putting their hands in their pockets? Because I mean, there are people that just will refuse to pay for anything, but they want to keep asking you questions, and even via DM, and you have to answer them and all that kind of stuff,
Well, given your recent comment on one of my posts where you say your conversion rate on sales calls is 90%, you seem to you have cracked that code. So
it's easy if you do one sales call, right? No, but I don't do a lot of sales calls. I am, despite appearances, I'm extremely shy and sensitive and introverted, and I don't. Yeah, I know, but I don't like to be rejected. You see, I mean, I get enough of that at home. So I don't reach out to a lot of people, but my funnels are full of people that want to reach out to me. You see what I mean? So I'm lucky like that. And then if I do jump on a call, I have enough confidence to basically just spend the entire call helping them. Yeah,
but the thing is, you won't. Got it. But you will not be selling. I think your most expensive product is somewhat to 300 grand or something like that.
Yeah, but that's.
You will not have somebody pay that online. You need to go on a sales call with them, no?
They tend to, I think pretty much everyone except, the first couple of people that signed up for that, most of them have been in my universe and through my network and inside my LinkedIn environment, and they've had enough time with me to go, you know what, this guy is not as stupid as he looks. Yeah, I mean, or so they know you. They know me, and
it's an upsell.
Yes, and they've downloaded my course, and they're like, you know what, I want to work with this guy one-on-one, and I'm like, this is the cheapest way to do it. Join the mastermind, and then they see who's in it, and then they go, holy crap, I need to be part of this. Yeah, I mean, but if I didn't do all of this activity that you speak about all the time on LinkedIn, that whole thing would never work. Because it's easy to say, hey, why don't you just stop everything you're doing and only focus on this really high ticket stuff? Well, if I didn't do any of the other stuff, I would be the world's best kept secret. So I think that's why I so appreciate what you're doing on LinkedIn and other channels, and I try and jump on it wherever I can, because I go, you know what, there is a guy who's really like actually helping people here, and he's working his ass off, and he's up at 5 a.m. every morning, which I think is a brilliant thing, by the way, but I'm not joining you at all for that. And let's go jump in and go support the guy, because he actually cares, and he's doing something important, and he's helping people. And there are lots of people like that I have a relationship with on LinkedIn who go, I've seen this guy show up here. He's all the time helping. He's all the time doing this. Let me see what he has to offer, right?
Yeah.
So I've made a very good transition from digital only to hybrid digital and in person. And I have people come and visit me all the time. They're like, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm over here for the next 3 weeks. Come jump, and people will buy air tickets to come and hang out. And so I think that's a nice segue where you and I could do a podcast just on that alone, of how do you migrate from digital only to digital, hybrids. What does Evan say?
Yeah, Evan, I'd imagine that this conversation, in terms of the cracking the code of the sales call, could be divided between high ticket items, 5-6 figures, and lower ticket items, also the personality line of extroversion and introversion. Yeah, so obviously I don't think necessarily introversion versus extroversion. If you could elaborate on that, I wonder what you mean by that. But yes, of course, definitely high ticket items need sales calls, unless of course they're an upsell. In that case, it's just basically being in somebody's environment. But the lower ticket you get, the more difficult it becomes to do sales calls efficiently, because that's the interesting thing. I wonder what you think of that, Anric. I'm sure you will agree that actually it's as difficult to sell a $1,000 product as it is like a $20,000 product.
And I find it much harder, because when I was in the days of raising capital, I would find that raising 100 million is so much easier than going to get 100,000 from people who actually are friends of yours,
Yeah.
Because number one, you yourself turn up very differently. But secondly, I find that people with big high ticket items have a very different style of making a selection. They have a very, not a short attention span. They have a very short consideration span. And if you can show them very quickly that, hey, listen, this is the quickest way I can give you A, B, and C, they'll go, okay, show me. You know what I mean? And I just operate much better at that level. I suck at selling $25 ticket items for anything. I almost
You're doing good with 99. That's
but I offend a lot of people, because I'm like, seriously, like you want my help, but you're not prepared to spend $99. By the way, it's going to cost me $999 to go and deliver the value to you. Bugger off and leave me alone. So I'm a little offensive. I'm not as nice as you, Michael.
No, that's fine. Everybody, each to their own. The interesting thing though is that I realize this, that people sometimes do this, that they are trying to, of course, to lowball and to go as low as they can, because they simply lack the confidence to go for high ticket, which sometimes is understandable, because sometimes if you yourself do not know how to sell high ticket, what kind of teaching will you be able to do? Effectively, if you can only pull off a $400 sale, you will be teaching people the same, because you have no idea how to sell something for 5, 7, 10K, right?
Yeah.
But the at least if you have a low ticket sale, please only do it online. Don't try to sell a $500 or $1,000 product on sales calls. That's murder. It's gonna take forever. You're gonna wear out. So don't
and I think if you design a funnel, it's a bad word, because it assumes that it's manipulative. But if you design, I think you call it your pot, and what do you call it?
Funnel in the pot.
Yeah. I like to consider it like you build a beautiful garden for people, and then you put these special locations and nice Japanese bridges, and maybe a drinks stand with free margaritas over there. People can wander around your garden of LinkedIn content and just stroll around and see some of the other people that are hanging out and talk to them, and right at the end of their journey, you invite them in for a drink by the fireplace, right? I like that analogy. It kind of works. Then you can build a very good system to sell thousands of low ticket items, except that you've got to throw advertising money at it, which I detest. I do not want to send any money to Zuckerberg and those guys in order to get enough bums on seats to make that work. But the one guy who I model in all of this is Brendan Burchard. Do you know him?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, Brendan is very interesting. He comes across in his public persona as very like, He is very scary, smart, and driven and focused on his KPIs and his metrics and his squeeze systems and the way very, very smart. And I really, really do admire him, the way he has created a very sizable business on the back of genuinely trying to help people.
On that note, I have a question on this. I wonder what you think of that. This whole area of personal coaching, right? Where like life coaching, anything that does not have to do with, any kind of hard skills. And it's more, I help people be fulfilled, that kind of stuff.
Don't get me started on that subject.
Sometimes when I get people who want to do this, and I kind of considering helping them, and they would be my clients. The thing is, it works. There are these people like Brendan Burchard, but then also, do you have to be because he also had to start at some point. Do you have to be a star to sell something like this effectively? Can you not be a coach who makes whatever, 100, 200 grand a year and still help people with that effectively? And where do you start with that?
Man, this is a tough answer, because as you know, I have spent a lot of money over the likes of Tony Robbins and all of these kind of guys, serious money, really, really serious money. And I find that putting money to work with the right coach or the right mentor is a absolute must outcome. If you want to figure out how to do something, go find somebody who's done it and have them coach you, have them mentor you, but never expect to get it for free, because, just people who give away that kind of stuff for free are not going to help you. So you've got to actually put your hand in your pocket, right? And I have seen coaches, by the way, so this might come across as insensitive, where they are literally making $2 million, $3 million bucks a year. Absolute snake oil salesmen selling all sorts of shit ideas that leave their clients in a worse case afterwards. But then I've also seen other people who will say, hey, listen, you need help with this. I will help you do that. And it's going to take 3 weeks. And, it's going to cost you $998. And I'm like, you know what? That might just be the best money I've ever spent. And off you go with it. So I think if you genuinely have a skill that you can teach to people, it is absolutely the time. Set up a Kajabi course, digitally record the content, build up, proper CRM, and get your content in front of people, because we are absolutely living in a knowledge-based economy. And if you don't do that, I think you're doing the world a disservice there, Michael. If you know how to do something really great, it's almost selfish to keep it as a gift.
That's
away from people,
Exactly.
So
yeah, I just wonder, the thing is, you should already, and this is kind of what I tell people when they are starting. I just recently had a guy who I try to help him on a pro bono basis. I just liked him as a person. And he was like completely going from, I could help companies do Instagram ads, or I could help people with resiliency coaching and so on, like everything, like literally, like no real strong competence. It's that, which direction should I go to? And I'm thinking, like, seriously, if you want to be a resilience coach, or any kind of coach for that matter, you just need to have achieved a certain level of success, unless you are willing to go and learn from really like very good people, and you kind of their apprentice. Like Tony Robbins did with Jim Rohn. I know a lady, she has been life coaching since she was 18, and she worked under Tony Robbins. Like she's a Tony Robbins coach, and she's awesome. She does not have any sort of other than like real world experience, so to speak, right? She has not started a business, but as a life coach, she's terrific.
Yeah.
And so I think either you're a proper student of this, but only because some people just like talking to you and you're a good listener, that does not qualify you to be like a mindset coach or resiliency coach or anything like that. So I think the path is, I think if you're already successful, let's say you're a really successful business person and you have achieved all your dreams, and then you feel like you could impart to people like your mindsets and your values and so on, then it's great. And you will be successful even as a life coach because you have achieved success. And if you're able to distill that into something didactic, that's great. The alternative is learn it from somebody great, actually study this stuff and be committed to it and be willing to not make a lot of money for the first 2, 3, maybe even 5 years. And then over time, once you really build your knowledge, you build your frameworks, then it's going to take off. But I think that's kind of my main point here. For anything like soft skills and life coaching and so on, that stuff is going to take way longer before you make money. If you know how to do ads, if you know how to do organic marketing, you're going to make money pretty quickly. Life coaching and any kind of soft coaching takes you way longer to get there. That's kind of my...
Yeah, I mean, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with that, because obviously if you've hung out with Tony Robbins a lot, you meet a lot of these kind of people, you know what I mean? And I call them like little happy bunny vegetarians that pop up and, hi, Anric, how you doing? You know, I want to be your life coach. And I'm like, fuck off, you know, leave me alone, right? But now if I look at a guy like Brendan Burchard, and you can be certified as a Brendan Burchard coach. So interesting. It's a parting of the water where I meet these guys, and there are some people that just don't know what they want to do. Okay. And they themselves are searching. So they fall into the trap and they sign up for this coaching, and then they become certified coaches. You know what I mean? And when you meet them, you go, oh God, I really shouldn't take any advice from you, because like, I mean, I don't think I have my shit together, right?
But you have it less.
You're not even close to my levels of chaos, right?
Yeah.
There are other people that have said, look, let me learn the system. And here comes the answer, Micha. If you have learned how to follow and truly be a disciplined disciple of a system that works, there are some people that even though they don't have the business experience, they are so good at applying the principles and applying the rules of that coaching system that they can take a very unstructured, undisciplined, difficult, annoying person like me and getting tremendous results, even though they're 20 years old and they don't know what the hell they're doing, but they've learned to ask the right questions. They've learned to apply the principles. So Brendan has a very good coaching program, as does Tony Robbins. I mean, I've met some of the Tony Robbins coaches over the years. And I mean, some of those guys are very, very good. That should be charging hundreds of thousands a year, not tens of thousands. I think it all depends. But, you know, I had a stalker on LinkedIn here for a while who wanted to do a coaching business and coach hedge funds on Monday, and then coach, I don't want to disclose what it is because it would be way too clear to identify the person. I don't want to embarrass them, but, you know, coach puppy dogs the next day. And I would say to this person, I'm like, please don't do that, because you are basically killing any credibility that you'd have in either camp.
100%.
Then you see people, by the way, who, this might sound like a racist statement, which it's not, who only focus on coaching
women,
Black female entrepreneurs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they are, and I looked at their course and I would download it, even though I'm obviously not Black and I'm obviously not female, but I download the course and I go, you know what? How the hell is this person making like $5 million a year selling these courses? I mean, it's like kindergarten stuff. right? But it's the niche, and it's the getting clients to actually really identify with you, and to go to you and just hit the buy button, because you are their person, right?
Are you saying these people make money?
Lots of it.
Like the ones who niche down on whatever, I coach black women.
Totally. And I do the numbers. I look at the signups. You see inside, as a Kajabi user, you can see other people's numbers. You know what I mean? And I'm like, holy crap! I need to go look at that. You know what I mean? How did this silly person doing this silly program, doing this silly course, make $5 million last year? You know what I mean? And obviously that interests me, because I'm always saying to people, go find your tribe, go find the people that you resonate with, the people that you can help, the people that will identify with you, right? So obviously I study all of that stuff, but it's mind-blowing. I think probably the biggest takeaway that I have is go find your niche, find your
tribe. Interesting. I'm kind of always very much biased against that. I just feel that serving a particular, let's say, race or sex is just,
I know,
it's not good.
No, me too. Yeah,
because also I think it attracts a certain anything that has to do with identity politics, it just attracts a certain mindset. But if you say
it attracts a lot of hatred. I mean, I did think of saying, hey, why don't I create a course for white Christian Anglo-Saxon tax-paying Americans who believe in God? Hey, exactly. People, talk about a stereotype. Nobody wants you, but I'll take you. You know what I mean? But you could do one for how to win your confidence back and shave your hair. You could do it. You could pull it off.
Yeah, but it's not.
And then you could do the Shay Rowbottom style of, I too once had hair. Anyway, she's very successful at it, but not my scene. Anyway, what does Evan say? I find Evan he's the guy that lives in Firenze, right?
Yes.
Firenze.
So Evan asks, which do you believe is a more effective economic strategy? Sell to a tight demographic niche or sell a specific tailored skill to a wider audience? It's a good question. What do you think, Anric?
God, yeah, you can tell the guy really thinks. He really, really thinks about this stuff. Do you know who Dan Locke is?
Yes.
A very annoying guy on YouTube, but he really did teach me one thing. Go 2 inches wide and 2 miles deep. And if you are so well known in that niche, so that's a very tight demographic niche, but I would love to do a hybrid of what Evan is saying, is where you do a very tight, tailored skill to a audience that has that problem or that is looking for that result. I think demographics, unless of course you are, like our previous example where you are Black and female and it's very clear that that's your audience, I don't think that the demographic stuff works. I certainly couldn't pull it off. Yeah,
demographic is more, I think about, let's say, whatever, plumbers or like a job title, HR directors. That would be a demographic niche.
Yes. So, okay, I'm with you on that. So my oldest son, he worked for years for a very successful company called Scorpion Marketing. They built a massive business, essentially doing these verticals, going after lawyers, and they have put more lawyers in business on billboards and websites than anyone else. And when he was working in the lawyers vertical, I thought, we should just kill all of you people right now and to do the world a favor, so there's fewer lawyers on the planet. But then they did the same thing with like plumbers and electricians. They went after these verticals. And I think in Evan's case, I don't know what Evan does. I absolutely think that a very, very tight niche is the way to go right in the beginning, because it's easier. It's easier to attract your audience if they know that you're talking to them.
Yes, and I was talking about that recently in one of my recent LinkedIn lives. it does seem, if you said, for example, HR directors of technology companies in England, right? That's a very narrow niche. Okay, yeah, absolutely narrow. Or if you even say like tech, 200 to 500 people, HR directors, England. It does not get much more targeted than that. You probably are looking at like an audience of 500 people. I feel that this is like these days it's suboptimal because it's so easy to find that. Therefore, your competition will be so much higher of people who are also after the same niche. If instead you can solve a unique problem, you niche people according to that, right? I could, for example, I help people with a specific task, which is getting your first couple of clients on LinkedIn, selling high ticket, overcome resistance to selling. So my demographic is on an industry basis relatively wide. I have anyone from like life coaches to digital transformation to corporate, but I help them in one specific situation where they don't have any control over their client acquisition. They get some, but it's unexpected, and I help them to create a system that makes it reasonably predictable. The problem is similar for these people, and so I'm actually niching down on a problem niche. I'm kind of more in the specific tailored skill to a wider audience camp. And I think, to answer your question, Evan, finally, I think it is not a binary. I think everything works. You just need to focus on it and execute it. If you go after the plumbers or HR people in England and so on, specific target demographic niches, if there's a good reason for that and they will therefore resonate with you, by all means, go for it. But also it works that you have a specific tailored skill to a wide audience as long as their problems are similar. And my clients' problems are very similar. Like, how do I start conversation with strangers? How do I run a sales call effectively? And so on. Right? There's so many things to that. They have all the same problem. I can help. I can serve them all. So I think everything works.
Yeah. So like if I was Evan, you could literally group yourself and say he's obviously a Christian man that believes very strongly in his Christian values, and I would own that. Then as a former US military guy, he could niche himself just to become a consultant he could niche himself absolutely directly at US military, former Army veterans who are building their own businesses, right? And believe in God. Okay, that is a very specific niche that you can be very proud of. And I think he would be able to pull that off. Other people would not be able to pull it off, and it would come across very slimy. But he would be able to pull that off and be very successful at it. So I think that is that a demographic? Well, no, but I think it's a super niche, and if I was that guy, I would do that all day long. You know what I mean? And
look at Evan's answer, because this funny thing is, Evan and I, we talked about that. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how much I don't believe in niching myself to military US veterans, right? It's just, and that just goes to show, and I know Evan is very successful in what he does. He's actually selling to his very close relationships with specific industry niche owners, small business owners, and he becomes sort of their Rasputin, right? Their sort of person sitting on their shoulder and helping them with different tasks across a wide spectrum of problems, right? And so that is Evan's model. Very successful with that. Hope I did not share too much here, Evan, but it just goes to show, find your niche, see what works. There is no single answer. Look, Anric is very successful in what he does. He recommended, go super narrow demographic niche. Screw that. Not that it's wrong. It is right. It is right. But you figure out your own stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so on that note, baby needs bathing. I will have to up. Great talking to you, Anric. Great to have you, Evan. Wonderful to have you on. And I love these kind of spontaneous conversations.
Okay, mate.
Great to have
Frohe
you.
Weihnachten. Wenn wir uns nicht wiedersehen, frohe Weihnachten wünsche ich dir. Ne?
Frohe Weihnachten. Frohe Weihnachten. Ciao.
Okay, take care, guys.
The State of Client Acquisition is a Content 360 production. Music by Gavin Knox-Grand. To sign up for alerts and to submit written and audio questions, go to stateofclientacquisition.com.
Loose sleeves in this high-speed condition. Montreal girls in the tail end of winter. Caffeine burns, wide awake dreams in color. Blood on my hands in this open heart journey. And infinite numbers, rapid fire across the country.